One of the saddest things I've ever heard is a woman making excuses for a man that does not treat her right. But somehow she has this hope that he's going to change and become a better man. On this channel, I talk a lot about relationship, but then I realized that I haven't really talked about what a healthy relationship entails. So in today's video, we're going to look at 8 signs that show you are in an unhealthy relationship. I also need to point out that because when it comes to toxic relationship, both men and women can be victims. So if you are a man, please watch. I'm sure you'll learn something valuable. Let's begin. The first sign of an unhealthy relationship is lack of respect. It is no secret that a healthy relationship is built on the backbone of mutual respect, which means I respect you, you respect me. But we first need to understand what is respect. Respect is about acknowledging and valuing a person's feelings, a person's right, and of course, their self-worth. So let me ask you this question. Do you, as an individual, as a woman watching this, do you value your rights? Do you value your feelings? Do you value your self-worth? If the answer is yes, great. Now, ask yourself this question. Does your partner value all these things about you? Or do you value all those things about your partner? It is very much important that you understand this. So let me make an example to help drive across my point. So every person has their strengths and they also have their weaknesses. Your partner should be able to acknowledge your strengths and as well as your weaknesses. So if you're a woman and you are good at one thing, but you are bad at something, the things which you are bad at, your partner should not criticize you, should not belittle you. So if you're in a relationship and you realize that the things that you are not so good at, your partner is always criticizing you and belittling you, there is no mutual respect. You need to get that fixed. And if it's gotten to the point where it cannot be fixed, then you are in an unhealthy relationship. And I would strongly advise you leave that relationship immediately. The foundation of a solid relationship is built on trust. Lack of trust is the second sign that shows you are in an unhealthy relationship. Do you know what happens if you're in a relationship where there's no trust? I will tell you what happens. It leads to a lot of doubt. It leads to a whole lot of jealousy, insecurity, constant bickering, conflict, and a failure in communication, and a host of other problems. That is why I think if you are in a relationship, it is important that you trust the man you're with or the man trusts you. Because how can you be with someone that you're going to lay next to? How can you be with someone that is supposed to be your best friend, someone that you're supposed to confide in, but yet still you don't trust them? So any relationship where there's no trust or where the trust has been broken and cannot be rebuilt, here's what I would suggest. Go see a therapist. Work on some trust exercises. Find ways and means to rebuild your broken trust or to trust the person that you're with. Because if not, your relationship is doomed and it's just a matter of time. The third sign of an unhealthy relationship is poor communication. I've heard this word thousands of times. I've heard women complaining that men don't communicate. Men don't like to hear my feelings. Well, let's break things down. First of all, what is communication? I don't want to go too deep into this, but here's what I need you to understand when it comes to communication, right? There are 2 important things that are happening. Number 1, you're going to speak. You're going to express your point of view and you're going to refrain from blames. You're going to refrain from accusations and you're just going to talk genuinely and honestly. That is the first aspect to communication in relationship. The second aspect is you are going to listen. Now, oftentimes women get the first right where they go around talking about how the lack of communication between them and their partners make them feel. That is great. But most women don't like hearing the second part, which is just sit down, listen. Don't be defensive. Don't sit down and respond to everything the man is saying. When he's speaking, just sit down and listen. You need to understand this is not a competition. This is not about who is right. This is about listening and trying to find a compromise. This is about listening to your partner's point of view. It's about bringing empathy into your relationship. So let's just retract. If you want to talk to a man, you call him, you talk to him and express how you feel. Don't whine, don't complain, don't use emotional blackmail, don't play the role of a victim, don't use any sort of manipulation. Talk to him and then listen. When he is speaking, don't interrupt him. Listen to him. If you and your partner can learn to just speak freely, openly, and honestly, and then say the truth, and then find a way to work towards a solution or a compromise, then you have a healthy relationship. But if you find yourself in a relationship where the moment you say, I need to talk, and the next person, I don't care, it's just shouting and screaming and chaos, and you two are throwing insult and it gets physical, that is an unhealthy relationship. And I would strongly advise you, as a matter of fact, I would strongly encourage you to exit, because if you cannot talk to your partner without it turning into a screaming contest, then I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what kind of relationship you're in. Please leave. Let me just say this to you guys. At some point in your life is going to deal with you. You're going to experience challenges that will feel like you're just being suffocated, and you need a partner that will stand with you every step of the way and support you. So another sign of an unhealthy relationship is lack of support and encouragement. We all have dreams and aspirations, things that we want to chase after, things that we want to accomplish. You want a partner that's going to be there to be your source of strength and support. You want a partner that's going to remind you how great you are, how amazing you are, that's going to basically be your solid rock whenever you're weak and feeble. So if you find yourself in a relationship where your partner does not support you, as a matter of fact, your partner is the one that does the criticism. Your partner is the one that discourages you from chasing after your dream. That is a very unhealthy relationship. If you ever find yourself in a relationship where you and your partner are in some sort of dispute and a personal or maybe an unfortunate event like an accident happens to you and you are in the hospital and your partner did not show up because he's mad or she's mad as a result of the dispute you two have, that is an unhealthy relationship. If you don't have a person that is willing to be there for you in times of difficult moments, you don't have a person that's going to stand by your side when everyone else is against you, you are in an unhealthy relationship. And I think, as a matter of fact, I believe you need to exit that relationship. Let's move on to the next. Another sign of an unhealthy relationship is losing yourself. Relationship should not be the death of your hobbies. It should not be the reason why you ostracize yourself from the society. It should not be the reason why you cannot enjoy your personal hobbies. It should not be the reason why you cannot hang around your friends. I know some people like to say, my partner is my best friend. That is great in theory, but you cannot be with a person every single day. Every time. It is suffocating. You're going to get bored. You're going to start getting on your nerves. It is different when you are newly in a relationship and you're just enjoying each other's company. That is fine. But at some point, you need to have some sort of personal boundary. You need to do your own stuff. Your partner also needs to go and do whatever is it that they do. And then after, you two can reconnect and you two can talk about your day. So, any relationship where you cannot function without your partner, you don't have a personal hobby, you don't have any boundaries, your partner is always there, they need to know about anything that you're doing, everything that you're involved in, is unhealthy. Relationship needs boundary, it also needs privacy. When I say privacy, I'm not talking about you cheating or you being a criminal and hiding things from your partner, things that are suspicious. No, I'm just talking about you need your personal time. You need time to yourself. You need to just reset. You need to enjoy all the things outside of the relationship. In essence, a relationship needs a balance. That's what I'm saying. Truth hurts. One of the funniest statement or expressions I've ever heard is most people say they want the truth, but they cannot handle the truth. And that is a fair, statement to make at a certain point, because I've seen a lot of people who just break down and never recover whenever they actually, get to know the truth. But I would still affirm, I would still say it is important to always tell the truth. And let me explain why. You see, when you are in a relationship, there are things, little things about your partner, maybe, for example, them biting on their nails, or maybe they like to talk too much. And you don't want to tell them that sometimes you talk too much, just be quiet. There are little things that your partner does that you might be able to endure, and that is fine. But when it comes to things that will damage their reputation, that will hinder them gravely in the society, then you have to tell them the truth. No matter the accusations that they throw at you that you don't support them or you don't believe in them, you just have to tell them the truth. So here's a random example. If your man wants to become a musician and his voice is horrible, and by allowing your man to go out there and sing, people are just going to laugh at him. They're just going to make fun of him. You're not going to sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to support him in spite of the fact that people are going to make fun of him. No, you have to tell him the truth. The same thing also occurs if you're a woman and you want to do something, but you're not great at that. Let's say doing hair or doing nails, or even running a business, and you don't know how to do those things. And then your husband is just like, or your boyfriend or your partner is just, I support you, I believe in you. Now, that is not honesty right there. You're not being sincere with the person. Now, there are definitely ways you can tell a person the truth that it wouldn't hurt as much, or it wouldn't feel like you are disappointed in them, or you don't trust them, or you don't believe in them. So you got to learn to convey your message in a more polite manner, in a more subtle manner, so it doesn't hurt or crushes the person's feeling. So I believe that in all instances, tell the truth, especially if this is something that will eventually come out. When you are in a relationship, you don't expect your partner to be perfect. There are things that they do that are going to get on your nerves, and the sooner you address those things, the better, because you might store them in your heart until it will reach to the point where you can no longer store them, and then everything just start coming out. You just start hammering them with truths, and that can be very painful. But I think it is important to be open and honest and to be truthful to a person, even though it will hurt them now. Later on in the future, they will understand that this person loved me. That was why they told me the truth. So let's move on to another sign of an unhealthy relationship: lack of safety. Specifically physical and emotional safety. If you are in a relationship where you are afraid to speak because you fear that your partner might hit you, that is a terrible relationship. If you are in a relationship where you do the right thing, but your partner tries to gaslight you, in other words, they make you doubt your reality, they make you think you're crazy, they make you feel like the things that you believe in are not true, that is a form of emotional manipulation. So you don't want to be in a relationship where you have fear, where you are being emotionally manipulated, where your partner threatens you and you don't feel safe. That is unhealthy. Don't stay there and say to yourself, it's just a matter of time, he's going to change. Chances are he will never change, or she will never change, and that can be very detrimental to you. So leave before it is too late. All right, so before I talk about the last point that I want to make, I just want to say, if you're deriving value from this video, please remember to like, share with your friends, and of course, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let's talk about the last point. The last point I want to make in this video is an unhealthy relationship, there is no forgiveness. If you are in a relationship and you're expecting perfection, you're in for a cruel surprise. You see, there is no perfection, and your partner is going to step on your toes many times. They're going to do things that are really going to test your patience. A healthy relationship forgives. You don't keep things and then 3, 4, 5 years you bring them up. You don't bring up things that your partner has already apologized for, and then the moment something goes wrong, you bring out those old things. I think that is wrong. So if you are in a relationship where you can't forgive your partner, there are certain things that have done to you that are simply unforgivable, it is unhealthy, and I would advise that you leave that relationship. So I'm going to wrap up and end this video here, but I hope you got something substantial, you got something important, and by now you have a good understanding of what a healthy relationship is and what an unhealthy relationship also is. If there's any question or anything that you want me to expand on further, let me know in the comment section. I will do that. If you want to contribute, you want to share your story, I'll be more than happy to read and learn from you. Until then, guys, I will see you in the next video.